everybody. No? I thought we agreed yesterday that that's how we're going to do it. Bye. Hi, everybody. Welcome to BREW.
BREW.
Put some bars in front of us. That make you so sad. Happy Daily Brew, everybody. It is episode 26. Yeah.
Yes.
And it is April 22nd. It's beautiful Wednesday here in the Pacific Northwest. We got rain today.
I love it.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nice because we've had just great sunny weather.
It's been way too sunny
It's
here.
been way too sunny. Let's be straight up honest. But it's kind of that refreshing sort of rain that we know will only be around for a couple days, and then we'll get back to sunshine and stuff like that. But hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Gonna check in with the chat here. We got
What's everybody brewing today? I think Deb says green juice brew.
Green juice brew. I saw kombucha. Someone was doing. They said their 4th gallon of kombucha.
Brewing their fourth gallon,
which is a lot of kombucha. And yerba mate, says Dallas. Tomorrow's day 30 of home, so I need to decide what yoga I'm going to do next.
Deb, we're doing, everybody that's commenting on the yoga thread on the Facebook page, there's a bunch of us that are doing the dedicated series right now. So that's the series before the home series. I think she has a bunch of 30-day stuff on there. But congratulations on making it day 30.
That's fantastic.
Let me know if you cry.
Jennifer and Andrea in the chat both talk about, like, is it bad that I don't drink coffee? It is not bad that you don't drink coffee. We have actually a lot of viewers that don't drink coffee or alcohol. So they either enjoy tea or beverage of their choice. Daily Brew is all about just celebrating the community every morning and afternoon on the weekends. So we do drink coffee. Right now, we're drinking our 2nd cup.
Yes.
We're going to be zinging.
Do you want to talk about what we did this morning?
Sure.
We have a friend who is also a Patreon supporter, Rachel, who has a business, Small Shop Strategies, and she asked us to come on to her Zoom call with some of her clients this morning just to talk about our business in the ever-changing times. So we did that this morning, so we had to have a cup of coffee then so we could actually be awake. We washed that coffee down with some breakfast, and now we're on to another.
Yeah, nothing like trying to talk business and that sort of thing, and
with like sleep in your eyes.
Sleep and just understanding, wait, what mindset am I in? But Rachel's been a longtime supporter. She also, if you either ran Tiger Claw last year or participated or volunteered, she was our, I just want to call like,
I would call her
all-star.
Yeah, I was calling her my right hand woman because she was basically I'll do anything and everything.
She's very experienced in race management. She helps with Cascade Crest. She's done that for a number of years. She helps race directors by literally being like the right-hand woman, just doing whatever you need, taking care of all the things that she sees need taken care of that a race director might have kind of tunnel vision for. Having her at Tiger Claw last year was awesome.
We had actually tried to like look into our budget this year because she moved from Washington somewhere else, but since Tiger Claw, but we were trying to like budget out how do we get her back
Rachel
to Tiger Claw because we need her there. I will give her business a quick plug because she is a good friend and she does really great things. If you are a small business or if you know somebody that owns a small business that wants some consulting, her business is Small Shop Strategies.
Yep, she does like Zoom calls, which is what we did this morning with a bunch of her clients and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Costco fake LaCroix post run. There's nothing wrong with that Costco LaCroix. It is so much cheaper than the regular LaCroix and tastes about the same.
Yeah, we've gotten the Costco LaCroix.
The Kirkland sparkling water.
Yep.
You gave it some flair. Sparkling water.
Sparkling water. Water. I'm sorry. I'm going to Patreon just to scroll down to our...
Hey, where are you? You're not where you're supposed to be.
And I feel like they keep changing the site. So basically, I clicked on Patreon Home where I get to see the posts and stuff. And it's basically saying, welcome to Patreon. If you don't know how to use Patreon, here's some steps to engage your audience. I'm like, take me to the posts. Take me to the places where I'm already engaging with the audience.
Mandy says, we ended up getting a soda stream.
How do you like it? We've had people in the past mention they've gotten like off-brand soda streams and they do not like it, but the soda stream is supposed to be pretty good.
And do they recycle the cartridges? How's that work?
How does it work?
I haven't done a ton of research. Pardon me on it. I ate my breakfast so fast.
She did.
right before that.
Because okay.
Oh boy.
We're starting the story.
I wasn't trying to force you into the story.
It's okay. I'm gonna purposefully shame myself.
Do you want Gus's cone?
Just so I don't gnaw on my own arms. Kim and I are pretty efficient in the morning when it comes to breakfast. Like we divide and conquer.
And that includes Gus's breakfast and taking Gus outside.
Gus's breakfast, Gus's routine,
coffee,
our breakfast. Like no matter what we do for breakfast and coffee, because we change our breakfasts up daily, we are pretty efficient with it. You know, we find that 25 to 30 minutes and know exactly what we need to do for breakfast to make it all happen and come together, and we get to sit together and enjoy it. This morning, we had a very small window between that early call that we just talked about with Rachel and then this show. And so we were like, let's get our coffee taken care of, second cup, and breakfast, we'll take care of that. So
feed Gus. I got
feed Gus, take him out.
Yeah.
So we divided and conquered. I was in charge of the actual cooking this time, and sausage, like veggie sausages were in the pan already cooking. I was going to cook some eggs with them and put it on a little bun. So it's like a little egg sandwich.
You've heard of them.
You've heard of them before. Hey, everyone. I undercooked Kim's eggs. I don't do this.
I also didn't find out they were undercooked until I took a bite out of my egg sandwich.
Listen, hers were in the pan for a long time, 8 minutes, which is too many minutes for eggs. And I created the perfect little sandwich egg.
It looked fantastic.
It looked great. Mine was perfect. I did not realize that there was a portion of Kim's that was still
there was like a pocket on the
undercooked.
Inside.
It was not raw. It was just undercooked. And it was certainly a texture thing that Kim was like, I don't think this is ready. And took it out of her mouth. And I realized I had completely undercooked her eggs. I felt terrible.
But I appreciate you helping in the kitchen.
Yes, but that is an embarrassing mistake. As someone who's become really, really good at like soft egg scrambles right now.
Your eggs have been really, really good.
Nailing it. Like a good soft egg scramble, which is as about as simple as you could possibly get. I've been really good at it. Fresh sourdough that we bake here, plus the eggs. It is like the cheapest, most delicious combination. And I can't believe today, because I was hurrying, I undercooked Kim's eggs. So I am confessing to the crew, I ruined Kim's eggs this morning. I'm sorry. Do you forgive me?
I do. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. Well, moving on.
Going back to Kelly.
Is that what that one is?
I think it is the trombone.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect.
Excuse me. What's up, Dan? Hey, Heather, Mandy, Amber, Angela, Dallas, Polly, Kim, Andrea, Ingen, Kelly, Francois, Justin. Lots of fun, fantastic humans here in the chat today. Welcome to Daily Brew 26. We will answer questions. We will talk about whatever you need to talk about today on today's Daily Brew. As always, though, I will go back to yesterday's Daily Brew and kind of read through the comments. If you have something you would like us to talk about or any of that, drop them into the comments on this Patreon Daily Brew, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But for now, let's go back to Daily Brew post from yesterday and see what's up. Aaron talks about, I can't find the Jureks North audio book.
I just saw that comment, and I think
we definitely listened to it.
And I think
Audible.
It was on Audible. I can't
it
imagine
wasn't-
it would be anything else.
Yeah, because Audible, let me just look real quick. Yesterday we talked about books, reading books, and Kim and I listened to books a lot on like Audible or other things. Oh God, of course. It's gonna make me sign into Audible. I don't remember any of my passwords.
But
it
would have had to have been Audible.
It
I
would
feel
have
like
had to
that's the
have been
only
Audible.
thing that we listen to audiobooks on.
Unless it was Apple Books, but I don't think we do that either. I think we do Audible because I think it's through Amazon, and that's just the easiest platform for us. So, Aaron, unfortunately, I can't answer your question right now because I can't get into Audible. Thank you, Amazon. But I do believe we listened to the audiobook format of Jurek's North book there. We talked a bit about that, listening to that book on the way to States last year, actually.
Yeah, I don't have it on my phone anymore, but
Laura says she likes the new intro. The What's Brewing, everybody.
I don't hate it, but I hate it.
Oh, no. I think we're all in agreement. I think we all hate it. I do appreciate the comment there, Laura, though, that Laura does like it. I think it's funny. I'll do it as long as I can. Perfect. So Yasa commented on how to pronounce his name. And I think I probably just did it wrong again. But we talked about this. We've been doing language lessons. We've been figuring stuff out. We had Ingen on a couple episodes ago to teach us some Norwegian.
I feel like our time zone difference is so different with him, but it'd be really fun if he was able to join us.
Yes, because I believe he lives in Norway. I believe so. So here's his comment. A little leftover from yesterday's and older brews, because this has been kind of this ongoing.
Isn't that Netherlands? Wait, where is he?
Maybe he is Netherlands.
I don't remember.
Yasa, in a couple of days, let us know where you are, because I know that the time zones are different and stuff like that. But we've been talking language and pronunciation and stuff for a couple of Daily Brews. It's our ongoing storyline. So if you'd like to catch up, you can go back to Daily Brew 1 and kind of work with us through it. Thanks for answering and discussing the music bit. I loved it because he asked us the question of what sort of music are we listening to and influences and stuff. Also, Ingen's Norwegian lesson earlier was awesome in how it showed pronunciation can wildly differ from one language to another. Like the U in Brunost is unlike anything English I've ever heard. Agreed. And same goes for my name. So here's the final and definitive guide to saying Josse like a true Dutchman and not sounding like a tourist. The J, by the way, Josse's name is spelled Josse. Oh, man.
We're still going to get this
Maybe
wrong.
Finland, says Ingen. The J sounds like Y in yeast. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The O sounds like the aw in awesome. Aw.
Yeah.
The SS are just like your S, of course. We live below sea level. We're no psychopaths. So, yas. And the E sounds like an EA in earth. Yasse. That's where I'm at with it. I imagine it's like close. Josse.
Josse.
So that would make Josse. That's it.
Josse.
Go to Gadan, Ethan and Kim.
Did you say that correctly?
Nope. I'm assuming that means have a good day or good afternoon.
Maybe it just
Go
means like
Gadan.
F you.
Yeah. Good Gadan, Ethan and Kim. Fuck you, Ethan and Kim. So that was a fantastic little language lesson through comments on yesterday's post. Thank you, Josse. I hope that we are eventually pronouncing it close enough.
Josse.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is saying Netherlands.
Netherlands. He said Dutch, so Netherlands, yeah. Hi, everyone. Made it even tonight, says Geeky Eleanor. I realize that it is 11 a.m. where we are, but I know that
I think
time zone is completely
Eleanor's
different
in
anywhere.
Italy?
I believe Eleanor is in Italy. Yes.
Anyways, it'd be really fun to get Josse on. Those very cute kids.
Yeah, Josse, as Kim mentioned yesterday, has done a number of videos for like GRGR and is always in it. It's just it's so funny. I love it. His kids are super adorable. All right. Justin in the
So how do you pronounce his name?
Josse.
Okay, I'm going to ask you tomorrow.
Oh, I'll remember that.
Okay.
Because I wrote that comment last night when he posted it. I remember reading that going, Josse. It's probably
Incorrect.
close. Yeah. It's like, he's probably hearing that going, yeah, you're close. Kind of like what Ingen was doing with us pronouncing.
Good job.
Yeah, like, okay, I give up. Let's do the next word. So Justin says, hi, Ethan, Kim, and Gus. My wife and I watched one of the 8 Mission Impossible movies the other night. Over-the-top action movies is truly my wife's favorite movie genre, part of why I married her. Anyway, watching them bounce all over the earth got us talking about international travel. What countries that you haven't been to before do you most look forward to visiting once life becomes moderately normal? Have an excellent hump day.
We kind of talked about
We
this
did.
in one of the earlier episodes as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was one of the first episodes of Daily Brew, 1 through 10, somewhere in there. We did talk about places we would like to visit once this is all over. Things are kind of back to normal. And I think we both agreed like Japan is high on that list.
New
Australia,
Zealand.
New Zealand.
Ireland.
Yeah. But we really haven't traveled much in the way of international travel together.
Mm-mm.
So that'd be
Yeah.
great. Kyle says, Jamil actually reported on someone doing the 100 beers, 100 miles challenge about 2 years ago. The person was shy of the FKT, but completed the challenge in a stomach churning 89 hours, 56 minutes.
It seems to be like kind of a common challenge. Like we had, I think Ryan in the chat room was talking about he had friends in college, I think, that had done it or whatever. So it seems like it is a challenge that exists, but I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm down with this.
We talked about it yesterday because Dan brought it up in the chat, just that he has a friend that's doing the 100 beers, 100 mile challenge, where I believe it over the course of 7 days, over a week, your goal is to run a 100-mile training week in addition to drinking 100 beers. So when I heard that, I was like, man, who would do that? Who would do that? But since we've commented on it, there have been people who have said, I've had friends that have done that, or I did that. And in this case, Andrew's talking about, Kyle is talking about
Kyle,
Jameel. Yeah, Kyle was mentioning that Jameel on his show, Mountain Outhouse, posted or talked about someone doing it about 2 years ago. And the fact that there is an FKT of this and someone was going after the FKT, it's like, not only has it been done before, but it's been done multiple times. It seems so difficult as someone who enjoys a beer or two a week.
And also enjoys running.
I can't imagine drinking 100 beer. I love beer.
How do you prove that you're drinking the beers and that it's beer in the can?
Like a part of me who thinks through things too much, I would have to film every beer being drank, like show the can full, open, drink, crush it. Because a part of me is like, well, how, if you just show a pile of cans, how is that person?
Or even just like
dumping?
Opening and starting to drink, you could easily just
cut and
have water,
yeah,
or whatever. Why am I so cynical?
Oh, it's because we're race directors, and so we actually had to think through all of the. Here are ways that people can cheat on our course, and try to figure out ways to not allow that. And with GRGR, it's the same thing. Like we host that virtual run every year, and we had to think early on very clearly about people are going to cheat. Like if you start offering up big prizes and stuff, people are going to figure out ways to work the system. Yeah, that's crazy that it's been done before. I don't anticipate doing it myself. You might.
Never. Like one beer is my limit.
But that's kind of what I'm saying is a couple beers a week. If it's a heavy beer,
I'll do a 7 miles in 7 days with 7 beer challenge.
That's not a bad challenge. I like it.
Even drinking a beer a day feels like
not great. Let alone 15 beers a day. Andrew's comment. I'm 87 miles into my 100-mile week. This has been an amazing experience. Lots of doubles and trying to fit it all in with work as an elementary and middle school principal via the internet for now. And having 2 kids under 3.5 means 4:30 a.m. runs and 1 p.m. runs. One learning lesson has been how important massage and stretching truly is. My calves are as sore as they come. How long did you recover? How long did your recovery take? Thinking of maybe sticking to just 1 day off this week unless my body tells me otherwise. Anyways, thanks for the inspiration. 87 miles into your 100-mile week, you are there. I mean, You are there. I don't know what day you started and how many days you're into it, because you might have started last Thursday, for example, and you have 1 day left. 13 miles left is nothing, dude. And you might be getting that done today. So if that is the case, Andrew, please update us. We would love to celebrate you reaching your 100-mile week.
But also being a dad with 2 little kids and a principal and all that. Andrew was asking, how long did your recovery take? You were basically right back into like
24
a mild week of running, like nothing crazy, but you were.
I was disappointed that Coach David Roach put me right back to it.
I remember in the thick of it during your 100-mile week, I think when things seemed a little like, oh man, I still have so
much left.
You're like, oh, I can't wait just to like relax after all this is done and kick my feet up. And then you got your schedule refreshed and it was like, oh, he has me running on Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But you felt good.
Oh, felt great.
Yeah.
And it had no residual effects on my fitness or anything like that. It was because I think the base was so good leading up to it. One big peak week like that was sort of a speed bump. It was sort of a blip on the training radar.
Andrew's in here. Finished my afternoon run and up to 92 now.
8 more tomorrow morning. Dude, Andrew, 8 is nothing.
Crushing it.
8 is not. You might as well just do that right now, dude. You might as well just pop on the runners and get out there and just run those 8.
Take both your kids with you. Yeah. Take your Zoom calls with you.
Yeah, you do them on the run. 8, man. 8 is nothing. You've gone 92 miles. 8 miles. I think my last run was, it might have been 9 miles.
It was somewhere around that, 8 or 9. Yep.
Yeah, and it honestly, dude, I kind of got sad towards the end that it was over. Like, that's the thing, is cherish those last 8 miles, because you'll be surprised you get to mile 7 and go, this is the last mile. That's crazy. And you probably will feel great. As far as recovery, yeah, my recovery was actually really quick, and I think that was because of the base beforehand. And as far as injury and stuff, you're talking about your calves being sore. If that is the case, if your body is sort of fighting you and the mileage is certainly being tough on your body, definitely take recovery time.
Yeah.
You earned it.
No need to like jump back in at all.
Yeah.
Melissa says, MLL, any aspirations of doing a 100-mile week as well? I'd love to tackle this, but sorting through logistics is proving to be tough with all the restrictions right now. Yeah. I don't know if I want to do a 100-mile week. It doesn't, I think we've talked about this briefly before. I would rather set, not now because we can't, I would rather set a vert challenge for myself because that appeals to me more than putting in more miles.
A vert challenge would be awesome. And I know that Jamil's virtual run right now is dealing with that. Is like, how much vert can you get? Limitless, I believe is what it's called.
But I would want to do it once our trails open up again and I can like do it somewhere that feels something to me.
Absolutely.
Know? But I'm not saying no to a 100-mile week. I do think probably it'll be something I do at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think I would do it before it actually speaks to me.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want to be like 3 days in and be like, why am I doing
this?
Well,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the 100-mile week is something that I wanted to do for years and finally just got to the point where I was like, I think maybe now I should try. And if I fail, I fail. But it actually turned out much better than I thought. But Kim and I have talked about doing a vertical week for a long time because I think it kind of inspires both of us to get out there and just grind out those up miles. Because
it's something that I like love doing. And like when I was training for WAM last year, I was doing tons of just vert by myself.
Yeah.
And there's something, it feels rewarding to me to like climb.
Every time we go up a hill. What's
that word?
Climb. Every time we go up a hill, even around our neighborhood, because that's where we're limiting our running right now. Every time there's a hill, we fake with the poles.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, remember when we were doing this with poles up crazy mountains and all that.
Geeky Eleanor says, Kim, we're opening up by early May. You're not that far away from reopening. Hold on a little bit more. Yeah, I think, it's on the table to open up potentially some outdoor activities here, but I don't think they'll take away, or I don't think they'll allow non-essential trips or driving quite yet. I mean, I don't know for sure. That's just my guess. So even if they do open the trails and we can't walk to them or run to them, that's not in the cards for us yet. Although I know people are driving to trails.
Yep. Yeah, we know that. I think they talked about it yesterday of sort of their, not a schedule, but a plan outlining the order in which things will sort of come back to normal. And outdoor activities was one of the things they talked about as realizing, like, yes, we know that you like want access and fishing, hiking, trails and stuff like that. So Kim and I did jokingly talk about it, but we just kind of went, they're going to open up the trails and we're going to have to wait a couple weeks before we go, purely because they're going to be overwhelmed. I imagine the trails are just going to be bonkers for the first couple of weeks. People getting out there and like, oh, nature, getting their exercise on because now we are allowed to. So we definitely want to do our part in, again, limiting the second curve of that. And
yeah, and whether or not, like, even if we can drive non-essentially at that point, it's like we probably will just give it some time. I think any unnecessary travel just puts a strain on an already strained system. Yep. And if I can reduce my chance of having to end up in a hospital, that's what I'm going to do.
Hawaii just extended their stay-at-home order to May 31st. Interesting. We were just talking about Hawaii with some friends the other day and how there was a stat, and you probably answer this more, Jeremy. There was a stat regarding how many people were traveling to the island. And I believe at peak last year during this time when people are traveling there, it was like 80,000 visitors a day or something like that. And now it was 184. Like the other day, there was 184 people that came to the airport.
Should be zero unless you live there.
Right. And I imagine Hawaii locals are probably the same way. Like,
yeah,
we don't want anything from the mainland to get here. But I'm just super curious, Jeremy, if you are a resident of Hawaii, what it's been like there. Because we've been talking about that. It is an island. and is was the goal to close off transportation to the island just so you guys could sort of self-contain and
Listen, we're kind of seeing a little bit of a version of that with like the San Juans and stuff here. They're not shutting down the ferries, but they're also like,
Yeah.
please don't come here. We don't have a major hospital.
yeah like locals on the islands were like, we're not going to leave. We don't want anyone coming. So shut down the ferries. Kyle says, meanwhile, our governor in Georgia wants some stuff open tomorrow. And I believe, we heard that last night too. So it'll be interesting to see how that is affected. Austin says 140 daily visitors to Hawaii now. So Austin does not live in Hawaii. I don't trust her. We'll see.
I do trust that she's done research.
No, Austin's very research for sure. What is Washington State's current date? In California, it's May 16th, but I have a feeling it might be longer.
Right now, I think May 4th is the next date that they're going to address things. I don't think stay home, stay safe is going to let up though. And I fully support that.
Yeah, you can tell that Governor Inslee and Newsom of California and our Oregon governor, you can tell that it's going to be basically the metaphor they said is rather than a light switch, it's going to be a dial.
Slow dial.
A slow dial, and just turning things slowly back to normal. So we fully anticipate this to be a long, stretched out process. Rightfully so. Last thing we want is to overwhelm the healthcare system with these huge peaks.
And just even yesterday, we were seeing the news of local cities like Redmond and Bellingham pull permits until the end of
May.
No, end of August
end of
September or something. I think end of August for city-run events or city-run camps and special permits. So it's going to be a slow burn. Oh, Heather says California governor is holding a press conference today. We had a press conference yesterday and it wasn't really nothing really happened.
Info. Yeah.
Which is, I think we know we're just supposed to sit tight.
Waiting on the numbers. Did anyone in Washington State watch his speech yesterday? Yeah, Amber.
Yeah, we did.
And it didn't really answer anything specific, but
no dates, no. Yeah.
Yep. Jeremy says talking to Jeremy here, they basically have shut down all non-essential travel. This is Hawaii. If anyone comes and visits, they're in mandatory quarantine for 14 days in their hotel room or residence, 14 days in their home. Makes sense. That's kind of what we had heard through the grapevine as well, is that anyone that visits Hawaii, automatic quarantine for 14 days, whether it's at your hotel, Airbnb, which I don't even know or if they're still able to rent places on Airbnb.
I don't think so.
But 14 days.
Angela says, no gatherings or events in Redmond until August 31st. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I know does affect some trail races and that sort of thing. And it's the same in Bellingham. So when you see things like that from smaller communities, I imagine
it's not going to be any different from a bigger city.
That's exactly. I think that's exactly it. Like if the smaller communities are doing that, then I think the bigger communities are going to be even more so. So we run in Issaquah, or we used to, which is about a 20 to 25 minute drive for us in Issaquah. We're all, Tiger Mountain, Cougar Mountain, all the big trails, or like not the big trails, but like the foothill trails.
Yeah.
I thoroughly anticipate Issaquah going, we're going to hold off on any reopenings. Yep.
Joel says, in Kentucky, the governor does a daily press conference over the virus. Do you all not? I would have thought so since you were hit harder. He doesn't do dailies, but he does.
He did for a while.
Regular press conferences.
Yep.
There's not a lot that changes. In Washington, it's kind of flattened the curve a little bit. So it's not like here's another big outbreak or anything like that.
Yeah, it's pretty much been all the same.
Yeah.
I think, Joel, we are about 2 weeks, maybe a week or two ahead of most of the other states, and that includes New York and California. I think Washington, because it was sort of the first burst of this stuff in the states, I think we are a little bit ahead. But I do remember there were days when Inslee was doing
daily communication,
daily press conferences for the press. So I think they're doing less press conferences and more like what he did yesterday was just a public address. No press there to ask questions. So that's kind of where we're at now, is just like, here's what's up. All the same questions. Like, it's just basically all the same questions of when are we going to reopen? When are we going to reopen? So I think they're changing it from press to conference to address.
Matt says, meanwhile, in Georgia on Friday, I can go get my hair cut or go bowling. Yeah, it's interesting, and it'd be interesting to see how the citizens of those states
that's what we were talking
feel.
about. Mm-hmm.
Because I can't imagine everyone thinks it's a great idea.
That's exactly what we were talking about yesterday.
And I know we know this is a touchy subject and we don't want to talk politics or anything like that.
Nope.
We know everybody wants to make a paycheck. We know everybody wants to provide for their family. We understand, and we're very empathetic and compassionate about that too. But
for those of you who live in those states that are going to be reopened, keep us posted, because I'm actually really curious how much of the population will just go back to normalcy. Purely because I'm like, if our governor just said, all right, everything's open, or as of Friday, you can go do this and this and this, I still wouldn't feel comfortable going and doing those things. So I'm curious how much of the population is like celebrating and going out and doing those things immediately, and how much is going,
I'm not ready.
Yeah, I'm still going to do my part and maybe lock down for a little bit longer, expecting a second bump and that sort of thing. So keep us posted. Let this be a community-based journalism test. Just experiences, firsthand experience, because I'm actually super curious.
Ingen says, I keep getting ads from NW Trails that they're still planning on having a race in Redmond Watershed at the end of May. And Angela says, yeah, I saw that too. I'm confused. Yeah, I feel like they'll probably reassess what they're
I hope they do.
Putting out publicly, because I also got an ad saying price increase for the Redmond Watershed run in May. And I was like, oh.
Price increase?
That's interesting.
Race happening in May.
Yeah.
In Redmond.
I feel like I'm sure they will readjust.
Yeah.
The optics on things. Because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Maryland is having a very, very soft opening for hairstylists for essential workers only. They are required by their employer to prove they're an essential worker. Masks required, 1 customer per salon. Yeah.
Interesting. It's hard because getting your haircut, you're this
very
far
tight
away
quarters.
From
yeah. We talked about, so I have a friend in Los Angeles that on set, so anytime I would work on set, I got to work with her. She was a very she was an amazing stylist, hair, makeup. She'd work with tons of celebrities.
She would cut both of our hair when we were in LA still.
Yeah, basically she became just this incredible friend. She's fantastic, super cool human, awesome dog. And so what we do is we get our haircuts from her, because whenever she wasn't working, she's like, yeah, just come over. I'll just do your haircuts or whatever. And she was awesome. So what I've talked about, I mentioned this on Daily Brew, but I didn't say what it was going to be, because I was thinking, oh, maybe we'll do a Daily Brew with it. Kim and I were joking about, I need a haircut. I desperately need a haircut. My hair is getting super shaggy. And I was like, oh, what if we, paid our friend in Los Angeles for a haircut, but she did it virtually. So we FaceTime called and she guided Kim in how to do it. I was like, oh, that would be a way for her to continue to have business, but also maybe teach Kim on how to cut my hair. And I mean, vice versa. I think you're probably a lot less enthused about me cutting your hair.
No, I don't care. I honestly would pull my long hair down here and just cut straight it. Because my hair isn't straight, so it's wavy anyways, or curly, or I wear it in a bun. So it's really hard to tell if it's like this.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I'm not too worried about it.
Here's if you know, if I was a stylist or a hair stylist of any ability, I would have that would have been my business.
Maybe she's already
shift.
doing it.
She might be
pretty savvy.
It is, yeah. It was just be like, I'm going to offer virtual haircuts. I'm going to maybe charge a little bit less, but I'm going to guide them through the process, or charge them more because it's going to take longer. So, it's going to take like an hour, 2 hours or something to do it. And I think people would love that. I think people would love to interact with an actual stylist and get personal lessons on how to cut a hair.
It's tough though, because it's one of those things where do you want your clients to know how to do it? Because are they going to come back to you once things open up?
Totally.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard for probably a lot of businesses are like, oh, we can coach whoever our clients are to do this thing from home as part of our business model to stay afloat during this time.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, how do you make sure those people then come back to you in person?
Yeah. I mean.
Anyways, I would do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, no guard.
We have friends that did that.
They may or may not be in the chat room.
Anyways, it's not as easy as it looks. I know.
You did a really good job, Austin.
Yeah, Austin did her husband's hair, and it looked good.
Great when he had a hat on.
It's a skill set. I made Darren bleed. She made her husband bleed. I didn't actually hear that.
And Austin isn't the friend we're referring to that forgot the guard.
No, we actually have other friends that forgot the guard who are
So.
maybe in this chat.
Jennifer says, does anyone remember the Floby? I made Floby jokes when this all came out.
There are some memes out there with the Floby images and all that stuff. Talk about a resurgence in popularity of a product that completely went off radar as far as relevance, and now is like, oh, actually, totally works. But the more I think about that, the more I was like, oh, what a great idea to have a stylist on the camera to teach us. But you also bring up a great point, is like, if you teach someone a skill, you teach someone how to fish, you'll feed them for life.
But also, I think...
I don't know the rest of that. There's
if you
more
take
to
a horse to water, you look into its mouth. Is that what it is?
What are you talking about?
I do think she would do it for us, though.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt that. I was just thinking, like I was saying, as a business model.
As a business model, yeah.
How would that actually... Yeah, there's got to be a way that you could do it. I mean, you could do your own stylist Patreon where at different levels you get different pointers, or I don't know.
Angela says, it took me like 2 hours and my arms were so sore.
So maybe that's what you do, is you offer up... I'll
and then yes,
you guide them to the very last step, and then you just end the video call, and you always leave the last bit for when
the
this
most important bit.
Yeah, for when this all gets shut down, so then they have to come back and get the haircuts. Yeah. Scott says, just finished a Zoom meeting, now I get to relax.
Welcome, Scott.
Welcome, Scott.
Ingen said, I haven't cut my hair since last June. I was supposed to do it the week of trail camp, but had to cancel. So since last June, I actually have you beat, Ingen. I don't cut my hair. I don't get my hair cut.
Often at all.
Often.
Yeah.
And my last actual haircut appointment was the day after Thanksgiving. Not this last Thanksgiving, but the Thanksgiving before.
It's been a long time.
So embarrassing.
But so what I realized, obviously, being in a relationship with Kim, is that she gets her haircut very rarely, but haircuts are more expensive for women, and I totally get it. I have to get mine cut like every 3 or 4 weeks. I wait longer, purely just budgetary reasons and stuff. It's very long, but I'll go every 2 months or something sometimes. But it's it's not cheap to get a haircut every month. So,
and you go somewhere that's really affordable, which apparently I don't think they're going to be in business anymore.
It sounds like they might not be. It is a chain haircut place, if that puts any.
Yeah.
I don't want to positively or negatively review a barber shop. But yeah, I don't. It would be great if you knew how to cut my hair, because that would be an expense that we get to keep in house.
I'm very expensive.
Are you? Ooh. Your hair looks really healthy, though, Kim.
It's because I never wash it.
Mandy, this is great.
I think so far I've said I'm no fun, I'm a rule follower, and I don't wash my hair.
Yeah, you're a big bunch of fun. That's what you are. A big basket of joy. Mandy K says, I've defaulted to what I call beach hair. I like that.
Yeah.
Yep, beach hair. I think we all have a little bit of beach hair right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mandy, the other Mandy in the chat room says Andrew's every 2 weeks, sometimes 3. Yeah, if I had my way, I'd get my hair cut every 2 to 3 weeks, because I do, like, my hair grows very fast and it grows very long. I just go longer because I think it's just various reasons. Angela says, my hair is similar cut to yours, Ethan, and is a total mess right now.
I bet it looks fine. I think everybody kind of has COVID cuts right now. So I think it's acceptable.
I think it is acceptable.
And I bet you people won't notice.
Heather says, Kim, do you use any special hair products to keep your hair so healthy? That's actually, but that's a good question, and probably something we can talk about kind of in a running relationship. Like, how do you keep your hair? You are looking at me like, really?
Listen,
there's probably a lot of women who are watching that would love to know.
Quick breakdown is I used to really splurge on hair care products back years and years ago when I was working my day job and I had that disposable income. I would treat myself to really good hair products. I don't really do that anymore. So I usually get kind of something that's on sale that is not like the bottom of the line, not the top, but it's also always something different. I rarely wash my hair. And I know I said that jokingly, but my hair doesn't get greasy even with running. So I try and wash my hair like once a week. And I think that helps it stay healthy. Dry shampoo helps if you get oily, but I just have like my hair, it's like has kind of like the half Japanese coarse, thick hair that doesn't require a lot of maintenance.
I put a hat on. That's my thing. My sister is in the chat. What's up, Hyde? It's the gray. It's the gray.
Oh, I do have gray hair, actually white. And I'll find them and they'll be this long and I'll be like, oh, cool. You've been growing for that long. That's adorable.
Yeah. And I hear that from the other room. Like Kim's like, I found a white hair. I'm like, it's an indication you're still in your 30s. Everything is okay. And then I'll find like 1,000 gray hairs and I'll complain. Kim's like, makes you more handsome. That's why we're married.
Kelly says I sweat way too much to do that. I'm a heavy sweater too.
Yep.
But I don't know. My hair seems to manage it. I literally will have to think to myself, when was the last time you washed your hair? You should probably wash your hair. So
Daily Brew has gotten to the point where we're talking about hygiene, but
it is a good question because I know there are some people that need to wash their hair every day. Like they can't let it go a day or they'll have to use a bunch of dry shampoo. Mandy K says recommendations for dry shampoo. I'm going to turn you over to my friend Austin in the chat room because Austin did a whole series on her Instagram about trying dry shampoo. Austin gave me a dry shampoo that she tested and actually I don't love it, but Austin will have some suggestions for you.
And for the gents in the chat that maybe don't know what dry shampoo is, it's literally like a hairspray that pulls the oil out of your hair, so you don't actually have to jump into a shower and use shampoo and stuff like that. I don't know where to go from here. Oh, you want me to pull that mouse over?
No.
Because I didn't expect it to get to hair care talk out of the haircuts, right?
Can we see your hair?
Oh man. It's
really long.
It's really long and curly at this point. I've been all over the board as far as styles over the years. You go back to watch some of the earlier Ginger Runner videos and it's very short. It's like much more shorter and easier to manage. And then as the years have gone on, I usually like a bit more length in my hair. It's much harder to style. So that's why I always wear a hat. It's because when my hair is not freshly showered, shampooed, and styled, it is disgusting. Because I think we run, we cycle, we do all that stuff, and we just sweat. And my hair,
your hair is just like a little bit finer.
It's fine,
as well.
Fine
like
and
mine.
curly. Yeah.
I also say that I don't brush my hair either, and I think that helps with breakage. I have a weird hair care regimen that is like basically like not taking care of my hair, but it seems to do fine.
Yeah. I love your hair. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Ingen says that her husband's getting a curly mullet and may have to intervene soon.
Yeah, just shave the top.
Can you show him the back of my head? I can't really. Yeah.
It's really long. I think my mom was asking if you're gonna put a ponytail in.
I'm not doing a ponytail, but I was doing the mullet for a while, where it's basically long all the way through, and now I like it. It shows up, and every once in a while I'll turn my head in a review, and I'll see it back there. And
Does it scare you?
Not while I'm filming, but while I'm watching. I was like, oh, leave that alone or cut that off. It's disgusting. And there was talk about beards. Yeah, Dallas says, let my beard go a couple times during quarantine and found lots of gray.
That's where yours is visible.
That is where my gray is visible. Yeah.
I don't see any on your head hair, but like you definitely have.
Right through here is white, essentially, because I don't think I'll go gray. I think I'll go white as well as a ginger. And so this has been the last couple of years that this started happening as we all age. It's definitely a shocker. It's one of those like, hair is turning white. I get it. I'm getting older. So I try to shave. I don't shave. Whenever I get really annoyed with seeing the white hair, I do try to shave. But for the most part, I don't shave. But during the quarantine, I touch my beard a lot, so I do shave to try to keep the hair off my face. Yeah.
All right. Do we have any more comments, or do we?
That was it.
We went through them all.
Yep. And then I could go 2 days. Let's go
Yeah,
back.
I wonder if we actually got, because there's probably people like, all right, we get it. You guys have hair.
Yeah. Let me just pull up. That was 25. We can go back to Brian Morrison's episode to see if there's anything. Oh, wait. No, that's Ginger and Life. That's Mondays. We also have mugs to give away, too.
Oh, yeah. Austin is dropping some dry shampoo knowledge. I do think I want to try.
What?
I was reading through Austin's dry shampoo. Do all those work on dark hair, Austin? I'm curious.
2 Daily Brews ago, we had a comment from Stuart talking about Asahi. I think Stuart's actually mentioned this a couple of times, but we've been drinking Sapporo beer on the weekends because it's very light, very easy to drink on the weekends, especially
delicious.
Before runs, because we've been drinking before our afternoon runs. Again, just to emphasize, we are not sponsored by Sapporo by any means. But Stuart is like, have you guys tried Asahi? And we have, and we do enjoy it. It is another very, very good Japanese beer. Big fan of Japanese Asian beers as they are so much smoother. Anyway, keep up the good work, guys. I've watched all your daily brews after they've aired whilst working from home. They are a highlight of my day. Thank you, Stuart. We appreciate you very, very much.
Do you remember when we learned how to pronounce whilst?
Whilst. Was that Ellie Greenwood that taught us?
I can't remember, but it was something that I never thought I was pronouncing wrong.
Oh, maybe it was Daring a Ginger and Her Live or something, because whilst.
Yeah.
I think I used to say it as whilst.
So did I.
And someone was like, dude, you're pronouncing whilst wrong.
And I actually had to go, I think we went and did some of our own investigating to make sure that it wasn't just somebody just trying to make us sound silly.
We are in Duolingo land. We've been learning a little bit of Japanese.
And I'm a little meh on the app so far.
We're both a little not into it, purely because I don't think we have it figured out yet. Like, it's teaching us very simple Japanese characters and words, which is good. But the retention is just not there. And I don't know if it's just because the only way for Duolingo to work is just constant repetition. Basically, I'm learning 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, red, white, and blue.
But then it has asked us, like, what's this word? And gives you like 3 choices. And I'm like, I haven't learned that.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know that word?
They're using like process of elimination tools, and they're using questions that they want you to get wrong. It's interesting.
They're setting me up for failure.
They're setting you up for failure, and we haven't retained. Like, I know ichi ni san purely because
yon,
and purely because ichi ni san is something you grow up. You're like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And neon, that might be. Is that 4?
I think it's yon.
Yon.
Yeah. 4.
So I don't know what 5 is. I don't know what 6 and 7 is, despite having spent like 3 or 4 days learning what 6 and 7 are. It's interesting how the retention is not there. So I don't know. I'm not expecting Duolingo to teach me Japanese in a day.
I was.
But I would think that the repetition of a specific word, for example, 6 or 7, or red, white, and blue, you'd think that would stick after 3 or 4 days of just learning it. It's not sticking for me. And I don't know if it's the presentation, if it's everything's really small. Sometimes it doesn't work. Roku. 6 is go. Is it go? Oh, it's roku. Or is that 7? No, 7 is a aka? No, that's red.
It's 2 syllables that are the same.
Two syllables that are the same. Oh man. Ooh boy. This is what I'm talking about. I'm currently testing the dry shampoo. Thank you, Austin. Key Lime is saying, I've also seen words pop up sometimes that I haven't been taught, but not a lot.
Yeah, yes. I think that's what my problem is. And it frustrates me because I would rather learn the pieces and then apply it to a word or something. So nana
is 7. And roku and nana, that's 6 and 7 in Japanese. But 5 is go. And how have they not taught us that? They told us 1, 2, 3, 4 a little bit, skipped 5, 6, and 7. It's been interesting because, but someone says it right here. After puberty, it is much harder to learn a language. Vivian says.
When are you hitting puberty?
I think when I turn 25, which is next year. I believe it, and I know I've heard that, and that's why. I mean, Ingen can probably attest to this. Ingen has kids who speak fluent Norwegian in the home. They speak Norwegian in the home, so I imagine for kids it's much easier to learn like English as a second language and all these other languages when they're younger because they probably just soak it up like sponges. Their logic isn't questioning what they're saying. It's just accepting whatever it is. My logic is going, why is it this? And that is going to be my inhibitor, like my major block, I think, with learning a new language.
I mean, I remember like my dad would throw around a couple of Japanese words here and there just growing up as kids, and we'll just say it like in a conversation.
Heather, Pimsleur, this is the second time I've heard this. I don't know what Pimsleur is. Is it a word or an app or a brand? Heather says to actually learn a language, Pimsleur is amazing. Teaches conversational language. I don't know what Pimsleur means.
It must be an app or something.
Key Lime says, jump into another language just for comparison. On the app? Ingen says, damn it, I keep refreshing the tracking page on my shoes. Oh, Ingen ordered, I believe, from Brian's store, actually, which is interesting. Geeky Eleanor says, no, sorry, made a mess. Go is 5. Roku is 6.
Yeah.
Achi, I think.
But that's not what we've learned at 7.
Yeah. What was 7 that we saw earlier? Aka?
No.
Nope, that's red or white.
No.
Kyle asks a great question, running related. Have you looked at testing any Topo athletic shoes lately? Have the Zephyr and Magnafly. Really liking the Zephyr. We had the Zephyr. And
interesting.
Oh man,
I did not like the Zephyr.
Yeah, we had some real issues with the Zephyr, Kyle. So I think
shoes are obviously
individual.
Yeah.
And with Topo, especially, if you are already used to Topo, you might look at a new Topo as like, this is it. Topo nailed it with this one because their changes are pretty dramatic amongst just the Topo line. But compared to other shoes and stuff, when I tried on the Zephyr, it was really difficult to get into. Yeah, I had real major issues with comfort and stiffness and weight. Yeah, it was crazy. Nana is 7.
And the horsey sounds.
Oh, man, they are loud. Yeah.
Exactly.
Man, that's right, Mandy. That's right, because Mandy was there when I was running in them. I think it was...
It reminded me, I can't remember, but it was a clumpity.
It was, straight up horse running down the street. I was just like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. Winifred says, Ingen, yes, the brain literally can't
Ingen ordered from Seven Hills.
Got it.
Yeah.
7 Hills. Brian says, Ethan knows stuff. I don't. I'm on my second pair of Ultra Ventures. My wide feet love them. Yes. So that's like, there are certain Topo shoes that I was like really surprised by and enjoyed. I was excited about the Zephyrs too because
I was too.
They were marketed as like a cushioned road shoe, going to be the big next coming for Topo. And I think I was just expecting something different because what I got was a bit of a disappointment.
I want to read this comment from Winifred in the chat room. She says, also as a therapist during traumatic or crisis-filled times, it's really hard for the brain to learn. I think that's really, really interesting.
That is interesting. I wonder.
It makes sense.
It does. I'm guessing the brain is sort of subconsciously busy.
The brain literally can't be in survival and focus or study at the same time.
That is that.
And it's really interesting because we've actually heard from a number of friends that they feel like, not that they're getting less smart over this time, but that sometimes it's taking their brain a longer time to come up with the word or the thought that they're trying to put together, like while they're doing like a Zoom call or something like that over time. Like we've heard a lot of people talk about brain fog or that their brain feels like it's getting mushy.
That I'm
actually fascinated by this, Winifred.
I love hearing this type of thing because it also helps justify why my brain has just been mush. We love Masterclass and have been trying to absorb as much like education through that or music learning, like music theory and mastering techniques through the programs that I'm using for music. And it's been really difficult. Like my attention span's been shorter and actual retainment of info has been almost non-existent. It's been really tough. So that is fantastic to hear that it's okay that I can actually cut myself a little slack. Yeah. Renee says ST3 is an amazing shoe if you enjoy minimalist. Also great for short recovery, running, or walking. Love them. Actually, Renee, that advice is perfect for Ingen, because Ingen also posted recently regarding Ingen's like a minimalist runner. She's been running in a lot of Merrell shoes that are very reduced minimal shoes. And I believe, Ingen, correct me if I'm wrong, but you might be looking at branching out and trying a new pair of shoes. The Topo may be the brand that you could look at because they're a little bit wider in the forefoot, not ultra wide, but a little bit more room. And they have models that are pretty minimal. And they're definitely really durable. So you're going to get lots of life out of a Topo shoe. Kyle goes on to talk about the Zephyr. I will admit that Zephyr feels weird and is clunky, but every time I wear it longer than 3 miles, I start to love it more and more. And that's the thing with Topos is the more you break them in, the better shoe you get. But that's always been my problem. And I think there's no evidence to back this up. But what I've seen with newer brands is that their manufacturing facilities are much different than like bigger shoe brands. So what they do is they design and create shoes. They're very well built and take a lot longer to break in because so like right out of the box, a pair of Topos feels very different than 50-mile Topos. Whereas right out of the box, like a Hoka will feel like the Hoka 50 miles from now. And I don't know if that's because of the size of the company and the ability to get into bigger manufacturing plants. Like the manufacturing quality is much different. Their ingredient sourcing might be very different. So I've always been fascinated by that because I think smaller brands don't have access to some of the more higher end materials, which does result in using maybe cheaper materials that
maybe.
Again, this is all theory, but those cheaper materials, when built together in certain ways, makes for a very durable shoe, but also one that just takes a long time to break in. So I don't know. What am I missing?
A couple of people are asking, can we bring Winifred on? And Winifred says, so for example, running or such, you can open your brain because it's not in that crisis same space. It's hard to explain on chat. It's interesting.
There is a science and an art that confirms this, says Winifred. So, and yeah, Ingen says, I've always had my best ideas while I'm running. And I'm the same way. If I am in the middle of a project and I'm at a stump point where I just can't like get through the creative process, we'll go for a run. And sometimes on my runs, I come up with all these ideas. And Kim can attest to that. Like, I'll say, hey, what about this and this and this and this and this?
And I'll be like,
what?
Which one did you hit?
Scary. Yeah, Winifred, maybe we can bring you on one of these daily brews, because if you are a therapist, if you are a licensed therapist, it would be really great to sort of pick your brain, if you have the capacity, to kind of answer some of our questions, because I know our community would have lots of questions about this sort of thing. My first Topo felt like a dead Ultra Lone Peak 4 straight out of the box. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm falling behind on these chat questions. I'm just listening on my phone today. That's okay, Winifred.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Maybe we can bring you on here for one of the daily brews, and you can answer questions more rapid fire. Ingen says, I need to start voice recording my ideas when I'm out running because they tend to disappear when I get back home. Yes. We just watched the Mad Men episode last night where someone had this crazy idea for an ad, fell asleep.
Didn't write it down.
Woke up the next morning and like almost lost the account. Yeah.
You actually had the exact same thing happen. A couple mornings ago, you woke up and you're like, I had this awesome idea for a video and I had all these things I was going to say.
I remember it. I know that idea. But no, Kim is right. I woke up in the middle of the night with this crazy idea. I walked through the entire video in a dream state.
You remember the idea, but you don't remember some of the key points because you were saying, I had wished I had written it down.
Some of the dialogue
you kept
points.
telling yourself while you're like kind of half asleep, I need to write this down.
There were some jokes that I had come up with that were like, oh, that's a good joke. Oh, that's a good joke. That'll hit. The order of everything was there. All I needed to do was just write it down and flesh it out. And I just fell back asleep. I woke up in the morning. The idea is still in my head.
Right.
But the nuance of the idea and the comedy stuff was not.
Maybe it'll come to you in a dream tonight.
Can't wait to go to sleep. Yep. Kim Wrinkle tells Ingen,
Oh boy.
I think you will like the Ultra Superior 4. Try them both with and without the included pair of rock plate insoles. I use them without until the first time I hit a sharp rock.
I will agree with you, Kim. I love the Superiors, love them, but they are the shoe that I bruised my foot in.
It's
and
true.
I didn't have the removable rock plate in at the time.
That is also true.
So
yeah, for someone like Ingen who is minimalist prone
already,
yeah, I think the Superiors are a fantastic choice as well. Let's give some mugs away and we'll wrap up today's Daily Brew. So
you're holding the show together. I already forgot again that we're giving mugs away.
It's okay.
Good thing you have your fancy spreadsheet.
I like my fancy spreadsheet. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to give away 2 mugs today because both of these are going to be, they were gifted by Rich Quetzalate. We appreciate you, my friend Rich, for getting 2 mugs for the crew. As with the last few days, what are you looking at? The questions?
I would pronounce his last name, Cancellaire.
Could be Cancellaire. I was thinking Cancelare.
You're probably much more correct than I am.
Yeah. Or not. I've been very wrong with pronunciation thus far. Rich actually supplied 2 trivia questions to us for each of these mugs. So we're going to use his trivia questions.
I was just starting to sweat a little bit. I was like, oh man, you're going to call him.
No, but Rich like went above and beyond. He's like, here's some trivia questions because they relate to him, and I think that's great. But they're very, they're answerable by members of the community for sure. So here's how this is going to break down. And if for some reason we don't see the right answer after a certain period of time, maybe have one in the bag. Like have a trivia question. I'm giving you lots of time here. You don't have to come up with it right now, but you have about 30 seconds. So here's how we're going to do this is, again, if you have not ordered a mug, we don't have the order form anymore because they were pre-order. We would like to give these 2 mugs to members who maybe didn't get a chance to get one, weren't able to opt in. That being said, the first correct answer in the chat will win one of the 2 mugs. Those are the 2 questions right there. Mm-hmm. Again, first correct answer. Here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question number 1. What previous guest from Ginger Runner Live is featured in the Dean Karnassus 50 Marathons in 50 States in 50 Days film on YouTube? The Ultra Marathon Man is the name of the film. What previous guest from GRL is featured in the Dean Karnassus 50 Marathons in 50 States in 50 Days film on YouTube? There is technically 2 correct answers in this. I'll take one of the 2 correct answers.
Austin says, when was Kim's last haircut? I talked about this already, Austin. Were you not listening?
Austin, you gotta listen.
It was the day after Thanksgiving, not this last Thanksgiving, but the Thanksgiving before.
Kyle, that is not the correct answer that I know of. I haven't actually seen the movie, so now I'm like, I hope that I don't know.
Oh, wild guess. Okay.
I was like, oh shoot, there might be more than 2 answers, but there are 2 correct answers here. Ingen says someone posted that on Patreon. That should be your question. Still no correct answers. There's 2 correct answers possible with this question.
Oh, Austin was saying that should be. I see.
Mm-hmm. What previous guest from GRL is featured in the Ultra Marathon Man movie with Dean Karnassus on YouTube? Scott Jurek in that movie? Can someone confirm if Scott Jurek is in that movie? Because that also would work.
Is Dylan Bowman in the movie?
Here's the thing. Maybe we should have seen the movie. So Rich created this trivia question, and I kind of trusted him. And now I'm realizing
it could have been a number of people.
It could have been a number of people.
It could have been any of these people. I think we might need to replace this question because unless we can actually fully confirm
How about this? The correct answer, let's just say Kyle got the correct answer. Because a part of me is like, I don't know who is in the movie. One, because I haven't seen it. So I can't verify that all these names that are being listed aren't in fact in the movie.
Because they could be. And we've had all these people on our show.
That's the thing is almost everyone, I'm imagining almost everyone in the movie has probably been on Ginger Runner Live. The correct answers, Amber Nixon says, new question. How about this? We have 2 questions. We have 2 mugs to give away. Kyle was the first one to answer with anything. He said, wild guess, don't really know. So Kyle, you get one of the mugs. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
Great. So Kyle, congratulations. You get one of the mugs.
What was the actual answer that was provided by Rich?
I'll definitely answer that in a second. Kyle, email thegingerrunner@gmail.com with your first name, last name, and shipping address. That's all you need to do. Just go ahead and do that right now. And Kyle actually confirms right here, I have not actually seen the movie either. Yeah. But someone did actually get the correct answer here.
But we don't know. Maybe all that Ingen is confirming that Scott got the correct answer.
Yes. Jason Koop was the correct answer. Jason Koop is a previous GRL guest and is in that movie. So as someone, I had not seen the movie, so I cannot confirm, are there people in the movie that maybe I just don't know, like during a race? So the reality is Jason Koop was the correct answer. Dean Karnassus was the backup answer. So Dean Karnassus is in the movie and has been on our show.
What's the movie called?
Ultra Marathon Man. The Ultra Marathon Man. So that being said, I cannot verify one way or the other without having seen the movie who's actually in the movie. And the reason I wanted to give Kyle the mug is because he was the first one to answer, and he answered twice. And let's just be honest, we got 2 mugs to give away today. Kyle, you earned it. But some of these other answers are great. If Scott Jurek is in the movie, he's been on GRL, so that also works. Good one, Brian. Kim Wrinkle asked Dylan Bowman. I don't know if Dylan Bowman's in the movie, but if he is, good answer, because he's also been on the show. Kyle goes on to answer with Anton Kaprichka, who has also been on the show. Ellie Greenwood, also been on the show. Tim Olson, also been on the show. Jason Koop is the correct answer, Scott. So good job, Scott. But, sorry, y'all, Jason Koop was the answer I was looking for. Rich is in the chat right now. Not your bad, Rich. I just hadn't seen the movie. So I actually sat here and was like, oh, wait, I actually can't confirm who's in the movie. Because maybe there's maybe Anton Kaprichka does make a brief appearance, or when Dean runs through a marathon or whatever in another state. So Dylan Bowman probably wasn't even born yet, says Ingen. Yeah, Dylan's 6 years old?
I think he's 6 or 7.
6 or 7?
Yeah.
Debo is not in the movie. Great. AK Trail Runner can confirm. So all of that confusion aside, Kyle, congratulations. Just email your first, last name, and shipping address. We'll take care of you. But this will now go into our second trivia question, which again, is up to everybody. And it relates to the previous question's answer. So Rich, I know the reason the first question existed was because Rich wanted to sort of dovetail these two together. Question number 2. Which university did Jason Koop compete for in track? This might take a little bit more research. But which university did Jason Koop compete for in track? We've talked about it on the show before. We've mentioned the name of this university. But I'm really curious, what university did Jason Koop compete for in track? And this is the same university, I believe, that Rich graduated from. So there was a connection there, and it makes perfect sense. Oh, and did we ever get confirmation, Rich, on pronunciation of your last name? Cancelare? I'm curious if it's that.
Or Cancellaire.
Oh, Kim Wrinkle. Kim Wrinkle, batting 100 right out of the blue there. Kim Wrinkle with Texas A&M. Yep. Question for the mug. How long is Ethan's hair? Down to the 1/4 inch.
That is long, way longer than
Kim Wrinkle, congratulations. You win yourself a Daily Brew mug. We're excited to give one to Kim. Kim got it. And I believe, Kim, did you graduate from Texas A&M as well? I actually forget. But I know Kim taught in Texas. I was just curious if Kim also graduated from Texas A&M. But Kim Wrinkle, same thing for you. Email thegingerrunner@gmail.com. We know, obviously, your full name, but just so we have it so we can copy and paste it into our spreadsheet. First, last, shipping address. That's it. And we'll send you a mug. What was that?
I was looking at your shirt. I was trying to figure out what it was for a second. Then I remembered what it was.
Tracksmith. That's it, everybody. Congratulations, Kim Wrinkle and Kyle Patton. We appreciate you both.
No, Kim, you're only supposed to answer if you need the mug or want the mug.
Now what is he saying? Kim, what is he saying?
Give my mug to the next person who orders one. Orders are closed.
Orders are closed, Kim.
You're getting a mug.
Was there a second runner-up answer? Nope.
I mean, we can give it to Scott, who technically got the first.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Kim Wrinkle, are you cool with this? We'll get confirmation from Kim Wrinkle, but Scott Sowell was the first correct answer to question 1.
These questions and answers got all jumbled.
I knew it. It's like sometimes it gets a little confusing.
I just yelled at Kim Wrinkle.
You did.
You
owe him an apology.
Kim. I'm
yeah.
so sorry.
So Kim Wrinkle confirmed that it's okay, and Scott confirmed that's cool with you too, because Scott was the first correct answer for that first question, and I think that is fair. Give the mug to Scott, who got the Jason Coop answer. Yeah, Ingen, that's what we've been saying. There's a delay. I know that there's a delay.
What's that one?
I don't know what that one is. I don't know. So
Kim says yes for
great.
Scott.
Perfect. So Scott, all you need to do, I again, I know we know your name and all that stuff, but please just email thegingerrunner@gmail.com. First, last name, shipping address. It's so much easier to copy and paste into our spreadsheet.
You were right on Rich's last name.
Cancellari. Cancellari. Phonetically
You're
speaking.
making it.
I know.
You always do-
Cancellari.
yeah.
As opposed to Cancellari. Cancellari. Got it. Perfect. Congratulations, Scott. That makes me feel good too, because Scott did get the
Oh, it was
correct answer.
crickets. Crickets.
Oh,
Spooky.
See? Perfect.
Trombone.
Yeah. And give it to Scott Sell. His anniversary is next week. There you go.
I think I saw that his anniversary was April 27th,
That is next week.
which is close to.
Our anniversary.
And your parents'
Oh,
anniversary.
yeah, my parents' anniversary. Wow, these daily brews are getting long. I know.
4 hours.
That's why we're going to end it now. Honestly, it's because we enjoy this.
I thought you just said a statement and then answered your own statement, but then I realized you're reading. You're
Yeah, Vivian
you're
said
like having
sorry.
inner dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, wow,
Wow.
these daily brews are getting really long.
No.
I know.
It was Vivian's inner dialogue that she simultaneously typed out. So, Vivian, you are correct. These daily brews are getting long, but that is because we love them. Thank you all. Last name is pronounced Soul. I think I said Sal.
Sal.
I did.
Soul.
Easy. So much easier.
I always read it as Sal.
Me too. It's that E. Scott Soul. Woo! All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's Daily Brew. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for episode 27. And we'll give away a mug.
And talk about something. Oh, yeah. Tell us in the Patreon post of today's show what you guys want us to talk about tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll coffee jitter our way through an hour again tomorrow with you guys.
I'm going to, yeah, wow. We've gone long
We're
today.
getting up there.
Woo, we went longer today than we did on
All
Ginger
right,
Runner
we
Live.
gotta go.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.